Title: The Lone Star Defense. Chapter 1: The Calm Before the Storm. In the heart of Texas, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden hue across the expansive plains, former President Donald Trump was enjoying a well-deserved break at his luxurious ranch. It was a quiet evening filled with the sounds of crickets chirping and the distant calls of coyotes. Little did he know, that tranquility was about to be shattered. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light illuminated the sky, followed by a thunderous boom that rattled windows across the state. Trump's phone buzzed violently on the table. It was his former chief of staff, Mark, calling with urgency. "Sir, we have a situation. Reports of alien ships spotted over multiple Texas cities. They're hostile." Chapter 2: The Invasion Begins. Without hesitation, Trump donned his signature red cap forward and sprinted to the command center located in his ranch. A massive screen displayed live feeds from across the state. Alien ships, gleaming and futuristic, hovered ominously over cities like Austin, Dallas, and Houston, releasing beams of destructive energy. "Mark, assemble the Texas Rangers and our best volunteers. We're not letting these invaders take our land." As the call ended, Trump quickly devised a strategy. He knew Texas like the back of his hand and aimed to rally local forces by tapping into the spirit of the state, independence and determination. Chapter 3: Rallying the Troops. Within hours, the ranch transformed into a command post. Armed with a mix of high-tech gadgets and traditional firearms, a diverse group of volunteers arrived: veterans, farmers, and even some spirited teenagers, all eager to defend their homeland. "Listen up, folks," he bellowed, standing atop a makeshift platform. "We are the greatest state in the greatest country on earth, and we will not be intimidated. These aliens thought they could take us easily, but they're messing with the wrong Texans." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits ignited by Trump's fiery rhetoric. Armed with determination and makeshift weapons, they mounted their trucks and ATVs, ready to head into battle. Chapter 4: The Battle for Texas. As the makeshift army rolled out under the cover of darkness, they encountered the alien forces just outside the outskirts of Austin. The ships emitted a menacing hum, and strange, lanky figures began to descend. "Now let's show them what we've got," Trump shouted, firing the first shot from a shotgun he had borrowed from a local rancher. The battle began. Texans used tactical guerrilla warfare, striking the alien ground troops from the shadows of the trees, utilizing everything from bow and arrows to modified fireworks. Trump, leading the charge, worked alongside the volunteers, inspiring them with his sheer presence. Chapter 5: The Final Showdown. As the battle raged, it became clear that the aliens were regrouping for a full-throttle offensive. Their ships hovered ominously and began to release a powerful energy wave that could decimate anything in its path. Thinking quickly, Trump remembered a nearby oil refinery that could serve as both a trap and a weapon. "We can use the refinery to create a diversion," he yelled, rallying a small team. They raced to the site and set off explosions that created a fiery spectacle, drawing the aliens' attention. The explosion sent a shockwave, stunning the alien ground forces and providing just enough time for the Texas volunteers to launch a coordinated assault. Chapter 6: Victory at Dusk. With the aliens distracted, Trump and his band of defenders charged the remaining alien ships. Using a combination of military tactics learned during his presidency and the unyielding spirit of Texans, they overwhelmed the invaders. As dawn broke over the horizon, Trump stood victorious amid the remnants of the alien force. Though battered and bruised, his volunteers had triumphed. The once mighty alien invaders were retreating back to the stars. "Texas is safe once again," Trump proclaimed, raising his arms in victory. The crowd roared in approval, their spirits soaring higher than the remains of the alien ships scattered across the Texas soil. Epilogue: A New Dawn. Days later, as the news of their victory spread, Trump addressed the nation from his ranch. "Our great state stood united against an unprecedented threat," he declared, his voice booming through the screens. "Let this be a reminder. In Texas, we believe in standing our ground against any invader, be they from another world or right here on our own soil." And with that, the Lone Star State embraced a new dawn, fortified not just by defense, but by unity, courage, and a touch of the extraordinary. Title: The Last Hunt, Years Later. In the desolate stretches of West Texas, where the sun scorched the land and shadows danced under the vast empty sky, a figure emerged. Donald Trump, once the President of the United States, now a relentless hunter. The alien invasion had begun 5 years prior, devastating cities and wreaking havoc across the nation. But as humanity fought back and regained control, a few of the extraterrestrial invaders had slipped through the cracks, retreating into the desolate wilderness. With the world in recovery and people trying to rebuild their lives, Trump found himself focused on a singular mission: eradicate the last remnants of the alien threat. Rumors had spread about a handful of them hiding among the ruins of abandoned towns and dilapidated structures scattered throughout Texas. They were blending in, masquerading as humans, but Trump knew he could sniff them out. Armed with an arsenal of advanced technology and his trademark bravado, Trump donned tactical gear that gleamed in the harsh sunlight, his own version of battle armor. His team was a motley crew of loyalists and ex-military personnel, led by an enigmatic expert on extraterrestrial life, Dr. Eliza Grant, who had studied the invaders' biology and their weaknesses. "Listen up," Trump boomed during their briefing in an old, rusty bunker. "These aliens are desperate. They think they can hide, but they can't. We're going to find them, and we're going to end this once and for all." The team set off in a convoy of modified trucks, each bristling with weapons and gadgets that hummed with energy. They combed through abandoned towns, their eyes scanning for any signs of alien life, odd movements, eerie stillness, or a flicker of otherworldly light. As dusk fell, a creeping darkness enveloped the land. Shadows grew long, and the wind whispered secrets of the long forgotten. Trump could feel it, that tingling sensation at the back of his neck, an instinct honed through years of public life in which trust was a luxury few could afford. "Dr. Grant," he called over the rumble of the engine, "you're the expert here. Where do they hide?" She pointed towards the skeletal remains of an old gas station, its once bright neon sign now flickering weakly. "They're drawn to places where humans no longer tread. There's a high concentration of energy residuals there. It could be a front for their hideout." As they approached, the atmosphere thickened, a sense of foreboding weighing heavily on their hearts. The air was charged, and Trump's pulse raced with an adrenaline-fueled excitement. This was it. They were on the brink of a monumental discovery. He stepped out, his team following closely behind. The abandoned building loomed above them like a dark specter, windows shattered, and doors hanging on their hinges. Instinctively, he reached for the high-tech rifle slung across his back. "We go in together," he commanded. "No one gets left behind." The group moved cautiously, the beam of their flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness. As they breached the gas station, an unsettling quiet enveloped them, broken only by the sound of their own breath echoing back at them. Time seemed to stretch as they delved deeper into the building. Suddenly, an ear-piercing shriek shattered the silence, causing Trump to jump back. An alien creature, twisted and grotesque, emerged from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with malevolence. With a burst of instinct, Trump raised his weapon and fired, the blast lighting up the room in a blaze of vivid energy. The creature screeched, writhing in pain, but before it succumbed, it lunged towards Trump, sharp claws outstretched. With a swift kick, he sent it crashing into a crumbling wall, just as his team unleashed a flurry of bullets. In the chaos, more creatures appeared, their forms sliding forth from the shadows, blending into the broken infrastructure of the forsaken station. Trump rallied his troops, urging them to push forward. The fight grew frantic, chaos spiraling as they struggled against the alien onslaught. "Keep fighting," Trump shouted, his voice a beacon amidst the storm. "We can't let them take our planet again." In a moment of intense focus, he spotted the leader of the extraterrestrial invaders, the one who had orchestrated the havoc years ago. It stood at the far end of the room, surrounded by defeated brethren, eyes crackling with fury. It was a creature of nightmares, its form shifting as if made of shadows themselves. With newfound determination, Trump pumped energy into his weapon, channeling his fear into fierce resolve. He took aim, heart-pounding, and released a powerful blast. The energy struck true, and the alien let out a blood-curdling wail as it disintegrated into bright particles. Silence reclaimed the gas station as the last of the creatures fell. Trump stood amidst the remnants of the alien's reign, his team huddled beside him, breathing heavily. They had won this battle. But as they stepped outside into the fading light of the Texas sky, a chill crept up Trump's spine. Looking back at the wreckage, a sense of foreboding crept over him. Beneath the remains of the gas station, a low hum resonated, too deep to hear but too strong to ignore. "Get back to the trucks," he ordered, panic beginning to weave into his voice. "We need to regroup." They scrambled back to safety, the hum growing louder, resonating with an unsettling familiarity. As they sped away, Trump couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the end. It was merely the beginning of something darker, lurking just beneath the surface. The last hunt had been successful, but perhaps the hunters had become the hunted. The shadows in Texas had not been vanquished after all, and they were watching, waiting for the next opportunity to strike. The galaxy held secrets far beyond Earth, and the war was far from over.